Well, Radhika Yadav, a 25-year-old promising tennis player and coach, was shot dead by her father in Gurugram recently, reportedly over her growing independence and the humiliation the father felt as he took control of her own life. Despite early rumors, police say that the murder had nothing to do with religion or romance, but was rooted in control, ego and patriarchy. Now, her chats revealed dreams of escaping abroad, while friends say that the killing was planned and stemmed from years of emotional domination of the father on the daughter. Radhika Yadav did not die because she did something wrong. She died because she dared to live freely. Her murder is not just a family tragedy. It is a wake-up call until society stops glorifying parental control and starts respecting a woman's right on her whole life. This will continue to bury ambition under the weight of so-called honor. Joining us now to talk about this extremely heartbreaking case is Kiran Bedi, former IPS officer. Thank you, Ms. Bedi, for joining us on this broadcast. How do you look at this case, madam? Because it's very complex. There is a father who put in all his resources to ensure that his daughter became this tennis champion, but he also was very upset because he was losing control. How do you look at this case? What do you think really happened?
A terribly confused father who was living in the past and wanting the future and the present as well. So I think he couldn't make up his mind. When he took his daughter for tennis, it was like what a modern Indian girl needed to be, a daughter. But I think when he started to progress and flourish, he went back to his past. I think it's all about a heritage. It's a legacy.
Ma'am,
it's a legacy.
You've handled such cases in the past. How do you expect women, young women, women who are, who have the potential in them, how do you expect them to navigate situations like this? Because they are, they have to handle parents who are extremely conservative, but who are also ready to invest in them. At the same time, they also have to, in some ways forego a lot of their dreams of freedom. How do you expect women, what is your advice to women navigating these challenges in life?
Women who are breaking the glass ceiling or making inroads, they're all into this challenge, whether at work or at home, whether in their married homes. This is a very big challenge for girls to make fresh inroads, create new pathways, create their own identity. It's not easy. That's why navigating at workplace, in families, in public places is the biggest challenge for women today, because the Indian society is a very confused society. On one hand, they want their daughters to grow and create their own place for themselves. On the other hand, they're afraid of losing control over them, and they're not sure they're not sure of the future. So I think it's a twilight zone for Indian society. The progressive and the regressive. You have progressive society, you have a regressive society. And somewhere there is a merger of the progression and the regression. I think this is what's happened with this father. He was progressive to make her play tennis, and very regressive because he was always actually escorting her, tracking her, being with her, and being like a guard to her. Right. And now when she started to flourish and go out of the control, he got into his regression. So I think this father is a conflict zone of progression and regression. He regressed into that old situation, what daughters should be. So Indian society is a very confused society when it comes to status of women and the upbringing of the girls and the boys. Boys, there's no conflict. Right. Boys are freedom. Boys are supposed to be providers, etc. It goes without saying. They don't need to be reminded. But girls are still the property of the parents or of the in-laws. And those who are breaking away are those who are making new inroads, but not without a challenge. Right. Not without facing opposition and hostility, whether at workplace or in home. That is what is making an independent woman have a greater challenge.
That's very well said. Also, Ms. Bedi, how can societal pressure such as gossip or public ridicule significantly influence the likelihood of such crimes? Because the fact that this girl, Radhika, was an accomplished sportswoman, she was running her own academy, nothing really meant anything to the father because she had become her own person.
That's exactly what was not acceptable to the father. He wanted her to be a champion, but did not want to be her own person. That's where he wanted to control her. He could not take it. And then he was weak, that he was accepting what was I think, as what investigation says, he was accepting what was influencing her from the regressive society. So we are a very confused society as far as women, status of women is concerned. We want empowerment, we want skill development, we want them to earn, we want them to contribute to the GDP, but then we want to be home, they want to be the homemakers, they want to see that they cook, they also want to have boys, more sons, they want the dowry, they are also controlled by the first parents and then the in-laws, and they also have bosses who are also denying them their position because they're women and they don't know them. See, I think women who are trying to make a place for themselves are going through have to go through a lot of mazes and bylanes to continue to survive and thrive. Survive and thrive. It's not easy.
Right. Ms. Bedi, one of my last questions to you, what kind of psychological traits are common amongst perpetrators of this crime? Do you see this as an honor crime? Because, this is a father who says, "Maine kanya vad kiya hai." That's what he's, apparently told his brother. And there are people who show no remorse afterwards. How do you see this crime? Do you see this as as an honor crime? And what kind of traits should be watched out for in specifically people like this?
हमारी शादियों में हमने कन्यादान है, हम पुत्रदान करते हैं. दान word is used for kanyadan, not putradan. Why can't it be putradan to the girl's family? If there's a kanyadan to the man's family, why isn't it a putradan to the female family? No, इसीलिए कह रहा कन्या वध किया. See, because the word is a कन्या. ये मेरी कन्या थी, इसको तो मैंने कन्यादान करना था, और ये तो आजाद हो गई. अब मैं दान किसको करूंगा?
Right. Ms. Bedi, thank you so much for your insights and thank you for joining us. Until society stops glorifying parental control, starts respecting a woman's right to her own life, these ambitions will continue getting buried, and something that... Ms. Bedi, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, it's not only it's treating, look at the girl and the boy, birth is equal, as two persons born. Not girl and a boy, and the boy to be given freedom and the girl to be brought under control, etc. I think the way the Indian society continues to look at the birth of the girl and the boy, upbringing of the girl and the boy, education of the girl and the boy, the marriage of the girl and the boy. I think unless the way we look at it, even married women succumb in the end to hefty dowries, and then commit suicide when they demand more and their parental home is not open. I think it's a way we still are dealing with two girl and the boy, the woman and the daughter and the son. I think son enjoys freedom and the daughter enjoys only controls.
Right. Thank you so much, ma'am. Equality and justice need to be at the bottom of this. And like Ms. Bedi also pointed out, that India has to navigate certain aspects of modernity, find balance and not be confused about the freedoms that it wants to have for its own children.